Hi everyone, my name is Ambika Mattu and I'm the editor of Femina. Welcome to the Femina and Grazia Virtual Beauty Carnival. I'm so happy to be speaking to someone who is a bona fide star, both in terms of celebrity, but also her incredible personality. A phenomenally talented actor who is driven, focused, and fit. She's also known to have a great sense of humor and a generous spirit. Talking about the lovely Sonakshi Sinha.
I wanted to do like a whole
Sing.
reel, like a swirling. Thank you, Ambika.
So lovely to speak to you, Sonakshi.
Likewise. I was really looking forward to this interview. It's been, in supposed to happen a long time ago, but now that it is, I'm so glad.
It's highlight for me as well. I just wanted to ask, how have you been making the most of your time at home?
I'm actually a homebody, so I've quite enjoyed myself being at home, kind of stepping back, taking a breather, which I don't think I ever do when I'm working. Like I'm non-stop on the set. Like I wake up in the morning, I go to set, I shoot, I come back home, and that's my life. So very rarely do I take breaks, in between two things. I usually just go from one thing to the other. So it was welcome for me. But I think now it's just been stretched way too long. I'm ready to go back.
True,
I'm
true.
ready to go back. But since I like being at home, I like having I have my few friends that I'm constantly in touch with even while I'm working and all. So for me, it was not that much of a shift, but I kind of appreciated it because I think everybody needs some time in their life to kind of just step back and reevaluate and think about what they're doing, work on themselves. And so, yeah, I think I made the most of it in that way. Like I really, took up the things that I had completely stopped doing while I was working, like my hobbies, like painting and, dancing. I used to dance only if I had a song to shoot. So yeah. So there's so many things that, you kind of reconnect with. And I really appreciate these few things that have like really come out of the lockdown, for me at least.
Well, it's like you said, I think the lockdown also kind of really made a lot of us rewire a lot of things mentally, right? And especially in terms of gratitude. Uh, but having said that, is there anything pre-pandemic that you can think of that you may have maybe taken for granted and now miss?
Um, Taken for granted. I think you take yourself for granted. Like I said, you're just concentrating so much on what you have to be doing and what needs to be done, running around. You kind of forget what you really need in life and what really makes you you. So I think, yeah, just more than anything, we really take ourselves for granted and just being part of the grind and, just having these blinders on and going on with life, like not actually living it, I feel. So I think that is something that came out of the pandemic. Like I've gone back to painting with such a vengeance. Like I'd actually forgotten what it meant to me and how happy it made me and how it really calmed me down. Sort of centered me. So having been able to come back to that was amazing for me. Yeah.
Incredible. I think it's really amazing how you've stayed so focused on bettering yourself through this period. I personally like to take a look at your Instagram when I'm feeling lazy and want to perhaps skip a workout. So talk to me a little bit about your fitness and nutrition regime at home and how that's also helped you.
I won't lie. I have had my ups and my downs. There have been times where I've just put my hands up and I'm like, I'm done with this shit. I can't. I don't know when I'm going on set next. Why do I need to be fit? I've had all these tiny mini meltdowns as well. But I think it's required, you're constantly like working out. For me, I don't enjoy working out. I have to do it because I have to do it because of my job, because I have to look a certain way, because maybe a role demands it of me. So that's why I do it. If it was up to me, I wouldn't work out a day in my life. I would just eat and enjoy myself and probably play a sport because that's what I actually truly love. Okay. So for me, working out, I have to really make up my mind about it. And in fact, when the lockdown happened last year, the first lockdown, I was like, I'd completely given up. I had put on about 7 kilos, 7 or 8 kilos, and I was just stuffing my face. And I was like, you know what? I'm never going to get to do this again. ever. So make the most of it, eat, enjoy. Just you've not had this opportunity for the last 10 years. So just go for it. And then as soon as I knew that the lockdown is ending, I had a shoot coming up. It took me 2 months to get back into the shape. In fact, better shape than what I was when we went into lockdown. So yeah, I think you just have to make your mind about it and be nice to yourself, be kind to yourself, be good to your body. For me, it's always been about, I used to be very overweight in school. And I used to just kind of, blame myself for it and just be really harsh on myself until, I realized that, no, I don't think this is really working for me. And that's when I realized that, you have to actually work out, not because you hate your body, but because you love your body. And you want it to be in the best shape for yourself. You want it to be as healthy as it can be for your betterment. So that's the attitude shift that I made, and that also really helped me, like I said, because I don't enjoy working out, but now I think of it like I have to do it for myself, and it's something good that I'm doing. So I think I did have my ups and downs, but yeah, you have to just make your mind about it. That's how I've always done it.
Oh God, I resonate so much with everything that you're saying, and I think everybody else does. I always, I'm in my late 30s, and the whole fitness thing it hit me really late as well. And I used to focus a lot more on beauty and self-care and kind of almost ignore the other side of it. Until, you realize this is the one body you got in this lifetime. So
exactly,
you have to treat it well, and you have to treat it with kindness.
Correct.
And the same goes with beauty and self-care as well. Have there been any changes that you've perceived over the last year and a half, or with those fields too?
Well, my hair's gotten longer. I'm very happy about that. Honestly, like with my work, obviously every day, with the blow drying and the straightening and the heat, and your just hair and skin really take a bad hit, and I realized in the last 1.5 years that you have to be kind to yourself even in that department. Find the right products, find a good regime. I never had like a skincare routine, but now I make sure that I moisturize my face at least once a day. I'm very lazy when it comes to a skincare routine. And that's also owed to the fact that my mother has passed on very great skin to me. So I just take it fully for granted, which is not good. I wouldn't recommend it to others to do that. But so yeah, I just kind of found a midway in between everything, where I can also be happy, not be too lazy about it, and actually take care of myself. So yeah.
Well,
and I've been doing a lot of my makeup. In the last time, I've learned a lot. Usually you have people doing it for you all the time. With wonderful hair and makeup artists, and when you have to do it on your own, that's when you realize they're confidence. And I just really miss them now that I have to do it all on my own.
But I feel like, their spirit speaks to you, because I think having sat in those chairs for so long as well, I think you kind of siphon some of their knowledge and some of the skills because you're so used to it, right? Yeah.
Like, I'm also an artist, right? So it's another kind of art. Like, you're literally like painting your face, trying to make it look good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did pick up a lot, honestly, with all the people that I've worked with. In fact, Nilesh Parmar was my first makeup artist, and he was with me for 7 years. He taught me a lot. Like, he would always like encourage me to like do things on my own, and he used to tell me, watch how I'm doing this technique on your eye. So I learned a lot from him. And of course, my signature winged liner is something that I'm good at, because I have a steady hand. So I'm very proud of that.
Still can't master it. Still can't master it.
It's good fun, actually. Like, for me, I'm a very impatient person. So to like sit in a chair while somebody else is doing all the work, and I'm just like it's way more difficult than actually doing it yourself, because you're experimenting with things, you're trying out new stuff, and you're actually like physically a part of it. You're doing it yourself. So it's good fun. I've actually grown to enjoy it quite a bit.
Well, speaking of the midway point that you were talking about a little earlier, given the circumstances that we've been in, I think a lot of us have also turned to digital mediums in excess, right? Over the last year, I know I've watched more shows and movies than ever before. This, of course, includes social media as well. So what role has the internet and being online played in your life through this time?
Um, yeah, it has played a major role. Like I've seen so much of stuff, so much of good content, that I probably wouldn't have if I didn't have this kind of time on my hands. So yeah, I've literally binged watched most of the shows and seen so many movies. I used to never really watch old movies, but like because of my friends' recommendations and all, I've caught up on such good pieces of cinema also during this time. So highly appreciative of that. But other than that, in terms of social media and all, I feel like I've kind of taken a step back. I got off Twitter last year. I try not to give so much of my time and attention in the day to being online, mindless scrolling. I just feel that makes me, at least, I'm speaking from personal experience, less productive. I just feel I can get a whole lot more done when I'm not doing that. So for me, yeah, like occasionally, like if I'm bored or like, if I literally just need to check up on the news of the world, I'll switch it on and probably do a little scroll through. But I don't enjoy just being, you take in a lot of information which you don't need in your life by just doing that. So I try consciously to like stay a little bit away from it. Yeah.
I think a large chunk of dialogue is being devoted also to mental health currently, and for good reason. And I'm just kind of picking on what we've been talking about a little earlier, but being in the public eye constantly, as you are, must also come with challenges to your bandwidth. And this is, I think, why you were talking about kind of switching off a little bit. But how do you check in with yourself to make sure that you're staying well?
By actually literally just checking in with myself. I have an app on my phone that reminds me every day, asks me every day, how are you doing? And I make like a small little journal thing on it. So I know like what I'm feeling, how I'm feeling, keeping track of it, being aware of it. I think awareness is a very, very big part of sort of taking you mentally where you want to be. So yeah, I think it's important for everyone to just kind of check in with themselves whenever they can. And it's basically like you're just talking to a friend, having a conversation with a friend and asking them how they're doing. And it helps. It really helps. Yeah.
I can imagine. And I think this also connects with what we were speaking about earlier about showing yourself some kindness.
Yeah.
Even when you're kind of going through the whole food, nutrition, working it out in your mind thing.
Yeah.
But, conversations on unrealistic beauty and body standards are also changing in part. Do we have a long way to go, though, towards having properly constructive and healthy dialogue?
Absolutely. We've just been force-fed this particular standard of beauty for so long that people take a while to kind of, shake their entire image of what is supposed to be beautiful and what is not supposed to be. We do have a long way to go, but I'm really happy that it's headed in that direction. For example, just the other day, I was having a conversation with someone, and being a girl, you go through these days where you're like, oh, I'm feeling fat and this and that. So the person said that, oh, but you're still beautiful. So I said, excuse me, I said I'm feeling fat. I didn't say I'm feeling ugly.
Wow, the correlation.
Yeah, I mean, instantly back came the reply, and I was so pissed off because no, I'm sorry, you do not relate a person's weight with how beautiful or how non-beautiful they are. It's just the worst thing to say to someone, and but you can't blame them because that's what they've been fed their whole life. In fact, me growing up, I've been through so much name calling and people just kind of not taking me seriously because I was overweight. I was really good in fashion school. I wanted to be a part of the fashion show. I wanted to walk the ramp, but they didn't let me because I was overweight, and they made me do the lights instead. So I was like, this has to change, I think, and it has to.
May I just interject for 1 second?
Yes, of course.
Big mistake. Go ahead.
Yeah, but
big mistake.
But no, but I mean, what can I say? I mean, that's just the way people have been trained to think.
Mhm.
And so that's why also it was very important for me when I became an actor. I wanted that role model, when I was growing up, that someone who told you that it's okay to be yourself
Mhm.
and it's okay to be comfortable in your own skin. And which is why in my entire career, I've really just honestly tried to portray a very healthy body image
Mhm.
for girls. And there are these young girls that come up to me and say, you're such an inspiration and stuff like that. And that actually feels so, so good because I needed someone like that when I was growing up.
Mhm.
So it's actually a conscious effort for me to do that. I want to be that for other girls.
I think who you are is incredibly empowering to a lot of young women and also just women across the board like me. Because I resonate with a lot with what you're talking about with the weight and the name calling, etc. And you start looking at yourself a certain way, and if you look at a photograph of yourself, you start looking at your chin more than anything else in the whole picture.
Yeah.
But I think what's also crucial is, and I suppose this is what's got me through the last year and a half, is it's okay if you are a certain way. The body is also a beautiful thing, and while it might take time, take your time. It can mold. You can mold yourself as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And it all starts with perhaps being happy with oneself to actually make those
And
little snips.
Yeah, and you can be happy with yourself, whatever size you're at. Just make sure that it's
Exactly.
not affecting your health in a bad way.
Yeah.
I always say that, like, if it's causing you any sort of harm or, affecting your health, you should do something about it. For example, if I've had so many friends who have been a bit overweight and they're like, oh, but I want to lose weight, I'm not happy. If you're not happy, by all means, go ahead and change it. It's all in your hands. You have the power. You have the power to do whatever you want. So it's really not about fat, thin, that makes you beautiful or not. It's about who you are, how confident you are, what other skills you have. I think people focus a lot on just looks. And that is something that really helped me while growing up because I was so confident about, I was heavily into sports. I used to play every sport possible and I was really good at it. So I just felt like I was the queen of the world, oh, can you play volleyball better than me? No, you can't. So how does it matter if you're thinner than me? So it's all about perspective, I think, and looking at things in a way that kind of make you feel better.
True. Well, this unfortunately is my last question, but I feel like you're the absolute right person to be asking it to. Parts of the country are slowly opening up again and vaccination drives in full swing. And while this whole conversation has been tremendously inspirational, is there any message that you would like to give to people, given that we're coming and are still part of unprecedented times?
I think, we're all in this together. And I think the least that we can do, having seen the condition of our healthcare workers and our entire medical infrastructure in the last 1.5 years, the least we can do is go get a jab, go get vaccinated, and it's so important for yourself, for your family, for the entire country. So I think we'll be doing the entire nation a great service if we just all go out there and get vaccinated. I got my first jab. I'm waiting for my second jab. So as soon as everybody can, I think they should just get it.
Absolutely. Very, very well said. Sonakshi, thank you so much for this wonderful chat. It's been the highlight of my week. And I wish this could have gone. I could speak to you all week if I had to, but
more often, Ambika.
Call me anytime. Definitely will. But thank you so much for just being such a bright light.
Thank you.
And I hope we have many more conversations like this.
Definitely we will. And it was a pleasure talking to you. I loved your questions. I loved kind of reliving some of the entire sharing my experiences with everyone who's watching. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Bye.
You take care, Ambika.
You take care too. Bye.
Bye. Bye.